Welcome, enjoying your blended family, all the B fams out there today. We are excited on this Monday.
Yeah.
We're excited because, this is one of the topics I think in a blended family we don't talk enough about is being organized, because there is something with organization. I know when my life's in chaos, it hurts everything around me. It hurts my relationships. It hurts everything. But whenever I can be more organized, and when we can be more organized as a family, oh my goodness, it's like the whole engine runs smooth. It's like pouring oil in an engine and it's just running so fluidly. And that's really what we're talking about today. But
I was just thinking all kinds of like car references.
we got to throw out these analogies and stuff and just have fun with that. I could do a lot more, but we're going to stop there because, one thing with us is we love organization, but we don't always know how. And so we have some special guests with us here today. We're so excited to have Dr. James and Ginger from Family Core here with us. Now, let me just kind of give a brief little rundown. They have a family resource planning system. And what it does is it helps save time so parents can spend it on what truly matters. They provide tools, resources that decrease stress. Let me repeat that: decrease stress, because that's an important thing in our lives, right? But increase family harmony through organizational efficiency. So we are so excited to have you two here today. Welcome to Enjoying Your Blended Family.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate it. Thanks for having us.
Hey, good day. Good day.
Well, and when we saw you guys, we met, for our listeners that don't know, we met James and Ginger at the Blended Kingdom Family Conference that they had, the couples conference a couple weeks ago. And we had a booth beside them, and they had just this long line of people waiting and looking at this product that they created. And it was just the way it's put together. And we're going to get into like all these, like what it is and what it's about. But we always like to start out by asking our guest just a little bit more about you. Give us like just a short brief of like how long you've been married, how many kids you have, what is your your day job, because I know y'all have a day job, and like where are you from?
All right, I'll cover family. He can cover job. We have been together.
It's up to you, babe.
It's been a while whenever it's like, how long have we been together? It's been a long time. I don't know.
I know, and it's usually me looking at him for it. So we've probably been together 13, 14 years. We're a blended family of 5. So we have, of 7. So we have 5 kids. So we have his, hers, and ours. I came in with a son. He came in with 2 daughters. They're really mine. And then we had 2 more. We had a boy and a girl to kind of sum it up. So we've got 5 kids with a 20-year age gap. And we ended up, we met in the OR because we were both in the medical field. And I stepped away from that when we blended our family and did billing from home. And he continues to be a physician. So that's kind of us in a nutshell.
Yes. And y'all are in Arizona, right?
We're in the Valley. We're in Phoenix, and I have a private practice, and she still is my manager of that. And we've come alongside and tried to now make a go at helping blended families out there, because we are one, and we've been very blessed with how our family has come together, and we love the idea of sharing some of those experiences.
Well, we love what you've done, and I know our listeners are on edge, being like, okay, what is this Family Core? What is this organization that's going to create less stress and more family time? What is that we need to know? But really, I think before we can dive into that, as both of you have had careers and everything, but really the heart, and I know it's a God calling for the 2 of you, that having been through a blended family, that you have seen the challenges, you've seen certain things that have gone on, that now you have learned so much, but have taken that knowledge to create such an amazing resource for blended families that I'm blown away by it. I'm like, we were talking earlier saying, I wished I had this like 15 years ago. This would have been amazing for my family, but before we really dig into that, could you tell us maybe about what the dynamics in your family, what is behind Family Core, maybe the why?
The why is probably a decade of moms coming up to my wife, Ginger, asking her, how do you keep it together? I see 5 kids running around, You seem so calm. You seem to be on time for everything. You know about every meeting going on at the school. You know about every project. You know about every homework assignment. How do you keep it together? And quite honestly, I was asking the same question in my head. How is she doing this? There are a lot of strings being pulled all at the same time. And so we found out that we are a fairly organized couple. And that's one of the ingredients to keeping a happy blended family, is knowing where everybody is, being on time and attentive to everybody's schedule when it counts, right? The dance recital, the gymnastics event, the big math test, whatever it may be. And being there and being intent on that specific event at that specific time, and never missing a beat, right? Like always being there, being reliable to the kids, communicating well, knowing where they are. She seems to have a great knack at being able to do that just naturally. And so she became a resource for a lot of the moms and families just around the neighborhood, and not even just blended families, but co-parenting through divorce, or even busy nuclear families. I remember sitting down at a couple picnics and a couple church events, and people coming up saying, okay, so how does this work? Because you guys are always here, you're always doing whatever needs to be done. It's fantastic. And so knowing that these experiences have taken place over a decade, that's kind of how we brought it all together.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think that from my perspective, I'm a biological mom, and I'm also what one would call a bonus mom or a stepmom, although we don't really use that term. Trying to see it from both sides, trying to see it from how I would want to be informed, or what I wouldn't want to miss, or knowing what dads shouldn't miss. I would want to be informed from both sides. And so we had a relationship in one of the dynamics that wasn't very communicable on going either direction. And so that was difficult. And then we had a very parallel parenting situation on the other, which things get missed, because then you're not anticipating what the other parent would want to actually be included on. And so we kind of look at it from a perspective of, if it was just us, would I want him to be there? Would he want to be there? So I could see it from the other parent side. So we tried to make sure that calendar events was a major part of it, so that the other parent can be invited. What they do with that information is up to them, but at least they were invited, and at least they were informed, and at least the child knew that, you know, hey, well, you invited my mom or you invited my dad, you did the best you could. There's no accolades that need to be had. It just needs to be relayed to the child that you're important, what you're doing is important, and everybody's been invited. So again, just trying to run a family like you would if it was a nuclear family, which essentially it is, because it doesn't have to be blood to be family. But we kind of look at it in that way. You're blended for a reason, because you chose to be blended, and to treat everybody as an equal, whether they're step, biological, you know, foster, whatever it is. So that's kind of the way we look at it, and in anticipation to having everybody included in the best interest of the child. So it's kind of the way we look at it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I just follow suit.
Yeah, right.
A wise man, you know. I've had to learn that too. You know, you learn it the hard way sometimes, but it's yeah.
Well,
you just,
but
yes, ma'am. Let's do that. Let's
it is so hard. I mean, I just have so many thoughts, because this was an area that has, for one, it's been a struggle just in our family, like in our home, because we're both pretty, like, we like to be organized, but there's sometimes with our busyness, just lack of communication between the two of us. One of us hears it and we forget to tell the other one. And that's in our own home. And then that also, when now you're trying to communicate, him with his other side and me with my other side, and even involving like with the grandparents and all of that. And the core of like my stance on when it comes to being involved in the kids' activities is my parents were divorced. And I just remember during dance recitals, choir concerts, sporting events, looking out, and when nobody is there representing you, it crushes the kid. And my grandmother was the one that was like my rock, and she was always there. Like when I looked out, she's the face that I would look for, but you still have that like wishing and hoping, you know, that these other parent. They're going to show up. And so
Right.
for me and for Randall as well, he chose like his career and everything based on the fact that we were very determined to be there present for the activities, even if it meant sacrifice in other areas. But then because of our busyness and schedules, I would sometimes tell the other parents. I didn't do it like out of maliciously. Sometimes I wouldn't even tell my husband, you know,
Right.
like,
Right.
Wait a minute. What? Wait,
Right.
when's the game?
This
It's
is
20 minutes to go. Wait, what?
and every
Right.
once in a while, I would even miss something, you know, just out of lack of organization and trying to figure that out. There's been a couple of things because when you have multiple kids, they're all involved in stuff. There's a lot going on. And so I would try my best. I would create things to try to keep the other parents informed, to keep all the grandparents, because in a blended family, let's be real, now it's not just like these two sets on each side. It's like you have like 8 different sets of grandparents. And so trying to make sure everybody's there, because the kid is the one that misses out when they're in that moment. And they just want to know that someone cares enough to show up. And so you've created this thing that helps push that out there where each person has that opportunity. And this is just one component of it, right?
Right, it is. And I see things a little bit different. So we have a shared color-coded calendar feature. So if I add an event and I need to invite my daughter's biological mother, I can tag her on that. Then she's been informed, and I know she's been informed because I tagged her. Now, I like to look at the calendar with all 7 people on it at one time. James does not like to look at a calendar with 7 people on it. He wants to know what he's supposed to do. So a big thing for him is a task feature. I can set a task for him and say, you know, we have a soccer game at this time. That's a task. When you read it or see it, mark it complete, that I know that then I'll get a notification that he saw the task. He knows the soccer game's at 4. He can narrow the calendar down to, we have a college student that is away off campus. Now her daily schedule is on the calendar, so we can pull only that child and see what she's doing, not corresponding with the other children. And if he's downtown and she lives downtown, he can stop and see her for lunch because he knows what her calendar is, and he can just pop in on her schedule, check it out, and then we try and inject ourselves into her life whenever we can, because she doesn't live at home anymore. So
yeah, it's a neat feature of the calendar, is that with a quick just touch of a button, you can filter everybody else out and just focus on one kid and realize what their day is like. And then you can quickly page through. You don't have to be changing email addresses or resetting calendars. It's a really nice feature. And that's the way I like to look at it as a dad. I like to look at each kid individually, see what their day consists of. And then the calendar will give you a system update at midnight. So in the morning, you can check an email bullet point of what each person in your family has going on that day. So when you're up early having your coffee before the day gets really going, you can have a quick rundown, a summary, if you will, of what's going to take place. And it takes 1 minute to just put some of those highlights of the day right in your head. And then as you go on throughout your day, those are going to pop back up into your frontal brain. And you're going to remember, oh, I remember this is going on with this kid, and this is going on with this kid. And it just helps me tremendously with staying engaged throughout the day. And then I can send out a quick little text saying, hey, good luck on this, or good luck on that. And the timing is right. And so it looks like, and I am, but it looks like you're really caring about what's taking place with those children. And it gives you that sense of a nuclear family, right? It helps bring everybody back together. You're engaging throughout the day. That's just one of the great features about the calendar that we have going on right now. And we did it ad hoc before the product was out, before we built the software. And so we just had a knack for doing that. And so that was one of the pillars, was bringing that calendar together in that capacity. So it functioned in that way, both for a dad brain and a mom brain.
Yeah.
Well, I love that, because that's the challenge, right? You said that you do care because you're taking the time to be organized, to have this system in place to where it's like, to help me remember. Because I'm one of those. I'm probably like one of the millions out there to where if I don't write something down, I forget it, and that's just our human nature, that whenever we get so busy, when work's going on and so many events, and so, our kids, we got so many things happening, it's easy to forget these things. So we, by caring, you're putting these processes in place to really make sure that you're taking advantage of all the opportunities you can create or be present for your kids. So I love it. Let's kind of break it down a little bit. Some of our listeners that this might be really new to, that they're like, okay, well, I'm kind of catching the gist as y'all are talking. So y'all have created, this is an app, right? You can get this app on your phone. This is an app to where every one of your family members are linking to and then accessing a calendar. Kind of give us a simple rundown of what that looks like.
Sure. So it's a software platform. We call it the best family organizational platform on the planet, of course. And it's based on four pillars. One is a secure chat feature, and the chat feature only works with the family members or the account members under your subscription. It's not deletable. So when you say something, and purposefully not deletable. So when you say something, it's out there. So you need to be intentional about what you say, but then no one can take it back, right? Because sometimes you're dealing with exes, sometimes you're dealing with good situations, not such good situations. Sometimes you need to have record on hand.
Sure. And it's not like a text where a text, you can delete text threads and things like that. Right. So this one's there.
Right. And that was on by design.
Yes.
We just spoke about the color-coded calendar and the different features of filtering through the day or through the week. The color, I think, is important for both of us. We can see all the different colors on the day. We know which children the colors correspond to. So you just get those quick references quickly because, like you said, we're so busy, but those things imprint in your mind for just that second, and you can go back and retrieve that information quickly throughout the day. We also have a geolocation service that works on both the iOS or the Apple iPhone system, and also on the Android platform. So you can see both types of phones on the same geolocation map. Now, a lot of maps out there do that, so we're pretty proud of that feature. Someone can have an LG phone, a Google Pixel phone, an iPhone, and they can all be found through the GPS system. Now, if someone chooses not to be located, they have the ability to turn that off as well. So it's not a tracking device, it's more of a secure family and engaging type of feature.
Sure.
What I like to do is it has this little green button on the map, and you can text your child real quick and say, hey, check in. And so they can just tap that button and it's an automatic check-in. And again, it's a way of just engaging. Obviously, there's a security feature to that, but it's just a way of engaging throughout the day, and it can generate conversation later in the day. You went over to Taco Bell after school. Who were you with? What happened? It's a way of starting conversation somewhere throughout the day with your kids. And that way you continue to engage. The last feature, which I think a lot of people really like, I like it a lot, is the secure data storage feature. So what we did was, it's a HIPAA compliant 256-bit encrypted data storage service that we use on a couple different platforms like Microsoft, Google, IBM. And what it does is we built a couple general categories in like legal, scholastic, medical, and then just a general category. And then we built subcategories in. But on top of that, you can build all your own filing system that you want. And it's as easy as taking a picture of something, titling it, and filing it in whatever your files may be. So for example, legal, you can keep track of powers of attorney for your parents. You can keep track of custody documents if you needed to send one out to a principal that day, because God only knows, there could be something blowing up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon that afternoon. It's just a way of keeping all that sensitive information organized and private. Just because it's on the software service doesn't mean it's available to anybody else on your platform. The only way other people can see it is if you tag them on that specific document. And we've even taken this secure data storage one step further. And if you're in your phone or on your laptop and you're in your account, you can't even access the information, even though you've already signed into your account. you still need to go through another two-step verification process to open up any of that type of secure documentation. So we've done our best to be sensitive and due diligent about keeping people's information private. But we also know that when you need that information, you're usually out there somewhere, out mobile somewhere, and you don't have your file cabinet next to you or your laptop next to you. And so you're always going for your phone usually, or a tablet. And now you have all that information available to you, and you can feel secure that it's in a safe place. It's not going to be tampered with. The only people who can get to it are those that you allow to do so. So those are the 4 pillars. We think, and we're always taking on other ideas for other things to expand the platform. But we feel that those are the 4 pillars that help keep a family organized and keep the periphery that we talked about earlier, informed as to what's taking place throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month with the common child.
Yeah, and it's important for split families, for example. I bet you don't know your youngest child's shoe size, and the other or your current spouse can pull it up, see the shoe size, not have to send a text. And I mean, to be quite honest, out of 5 kids, I think they'd all be offended if, he was like, I don't know that person's size. I don't know, or we get this question all the time. Every birthday, how much did I weigh? What time was I born? Where, all of these questions where you're like, while I'm stalling, James is like, you were born at 7:20. Born. So he always,
the birth certificate
he always looks like the winner because he can just do a quick little, you were born, this is how much you weighed, this is how long you were, that kind of thing. So
man, well, and just hearing like all the different things, because it stirs up so many memories. Oh, because our youngest is 19 now, and I still think there's so many amazing things that we can use this for. But just taking it back to all the Christmases like you're talking about, and we are not big on shopping, but my ex-husband, he's all about the clothes and stuff and the shoes. So his thing every time is buying the shoes for the kids. And he'll always ask, what size shoe are they wearing? And I never even thought about this until you're saying it right now. How many times I'm in the middle of my work day or, in the middle of something, and I'm like, I don't know what size, until it finally stopped growing. I don't know what size the shoe is, or for boys' pants, how they have the 2 different lengths and the width and all of that. And I'm like, I don't know. I have to go check their clothing for that. So that one little point, but also so many times with, hey, I need the birth certificate. Hey, what's the social security card? And I don't want to give the hard copy. I've already given printed copies multiple times of that. And now it's like, you have this stored in one area. They have access, only them, to their kids, because, I don't want his, because you and I, we've talked about this, about like the different ways you tag. His ex-wife doesn't see my kids' stuff, and my ex doesn't see his kids' stuff. It's just what they're tagged in. So they're out finding a new doctor because they moved or whatever. They need this information. They can pull it up on this app right there.
Yes, it's that simple.
Like all their shot records and
that's another one. Yes.
Shot records or immunizations, or now it's the COVID record. And you have 7 people, and I'm supposed to remember when they got their first shot and when they got their second shot and what if they got a booster. And just, having it in your hand is so essential. And I know most blended families would understand this, but you'll go to the school and you've done a custody. You guys have decided between yourselves that you're going to exchange a day, but the school says, I need verification, or I need to see your custody document. And God only knows you don't want to bust out your 27-page.
Well, here it is on page 20, section article.
Exactly. Yeah, line 72 that we can switch a day. So just having the ability to say, hey, I'm going to snapshot you 1 page for my personal custody document. I'm going to email it to you so you have it on file. But not everybody needs to know your entire world and what the court decided and, those types of things. And then on top of that, just to kind of piggyback on what he said, if the person that you tag does open that encrypted document, you'll get a notification. So there's got to be a reason why they're opening the social security card or the vaccination record. And it's kind of a help to you. They're going to go get a new pediatrician from wherever they've moved to. But then them opening that record and passing that record on, now you know that they've done it. Now you know that the kids have a new doctor, and it just kind of builds security. You have a little bit of information, but you didn't have to speak directly to your ex to get it.
Well, yeah, exactly. So they're doing their job too by updating that information. You're getting a notification. They don't have to call you. It's already been passed along to you through a push notification or an email alert. They've communicated, they've done their job. It's taking some little things and making it much easier to help co-parent, decrease the unpredictability in the communication gaps, and just lowering anxiety overall in the parenting realm.
Yeah.
Well,
The last
that's
thing it wants to know is that you have to call your ex in the middle of the doctor's appointment.
Yeah,
Nobody wants that.
well, that's just that, a lot of co-parenting, that can be some of the biggest frustrations it always comes to lack of communication. But being able to use a app like this to where now you and your co-parent can actually stay engaged, you're able to upload documents with a snapshot of a picture, you're able to tag the right people with who needs to be able to access that document. What a way to really eliminate a lot of all the arguing that can come up just from the miscommunication, right?
Yeah.
There's just like we said at the beginning, the more organized we can be, the less stress there is, and the more harmony that we all have working together, right? And that's the beauty of what y'all have created, is it really does, like you say in in the document, is you're creating harmony. You're creating this harmony and unity within families. And as blended families, we do have all these challenges of, the divisions and stuff. This helps keep the walls down and helps keep us communicating better together.
We'll be right back. Check this out. Blended families can be hard at times, can't they? Have you ever said, I don't feel like me and my spouse are connecting? Or I'm bending over backwards and my stepkid still pushes me away? Or do you feel like your family's doing okay, but you'd like it to be more than okay? You want your family to level up, take it to an even stronger level.
The truth is, we're all looking for more joy and happiness in our lives. So how do we start seeing that in our blended family? Because really, our family is the first place we should truly be enjoying and having the most fun with. So how do you enjoy your blended family? You create more fun opportunities that your family loves doing. These are big things, they're small things, things that cost money, things that don't cost money. But the more fun you have together, the less blended family drama you'll have, which equals more joy and happiness for everyone. Now, you may be saying, yeah, but I don't know how to do that. I don't even know where to start. That's okay. We walk you through 5 fun dates you get to have with your family. These dates help you discover those fun things your family loves doing. You'll walk away with so many more great ideas and have an amazing, easy plan to make it happen and to keep it going. Plus, you get to have a lot of fun discovering all this in the process. We walk you through everything and make it really fun and easy.
So how do you enjoy your blended family? By going on these 5 dates and discovering fun in your stepfamily. You'll be so glad you did. Have more fun together and you'll see less problems. The link to get started on this amazing journey is in the show notes of this episode.
And so I love your 4 pillars. That whenever you showed me, I know whenever we were kind of looking at the app with you and you pulled up one of your kids' birth certificates just on a drop of a dime. And I'm like, that is amazing. Like, especially, when our kids are younger, to be able to have all that documentation, shot records, things like that on hand.
Well, and safely as well.
And safely, to have all the encryptions and the security measures that you've taken on this. But then even when they're getting older, and there are so many times my kids have called me because they're out job hunting and they're like, hey, what's my social security number? And just
your app.
yeah, just so happens I was here with my old school filing cabinet, well, hold on, let me pull my file. And, I'm trying to pull my
Hold, please.
Yeah. Well, and that's one step. They usually call me and then I have to call him and then he has to look it up and then he has to tell me. And then it's like,
Right.
But this takes away all that.
I'll text you right back.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. And for your children, now that they're stepping into that adult realm, and they don't want to have to call mom when they're standing in front of the new potential boss so that they
Sure.
can get it, or dad to send me the information, just to be organized themselves. And it really does teach the children. We have one that's applying for college right now, and we haven't had to give her one document. She's had all of her school records, any of the records that she needs, she's been able to pull up on her own. We've been able to see that she's opened those documents. And so we kind of know where she's at in the process, but it gives her a sense of responsibility, and it gives her a sense that she's taking care of it on her own. That's not to say that we don't say, hey, we saw that you opened your transcript. Where are we at in the process? It gives us an opportunity to support her in her independence. And it also gives her a means to being independent, but still with I know they're going to see it. So it gives us a conversation piece later. So we're not being intrusive. We're just being supportive that, hey, you're doing great work. I saw you opened X, Y, and Z. That means you're at this point in your application. So good job.
Well, and it helps them to realize the value of organizing, right? Keeping all your ducks in a row and keeping your information where you need it. And it empowers them basically as they do get older and become teenagers, that they can start doing some of these things on their own and start living like a young adult. It's been a valuable tool. I want to go back and touch on one thing you had said there, Randall, about communicating with the other side. In all seriousness, when we were beginning to build this app 3 years ago, we sent out a bunch of surveys, and we were doing a lot of research on the main issues and the tough issues that surrounded kids through divorce and going into blended families. And one of the comments that kept coming up was, just wish the parents could get along better. I'm not asking for them to be back together, but just get along better. And this app really does kind of help that in those subliminal communication ways that we just touched on. And it really decreases the anxiety level in the kids. They feel better about both sides. Both parents are looking more adult-like, more mature. Whatever the low-lying tensions are and may still be there, they don't come to the surface quite as often anymore. And that really does impart a sense of calm in the children that are caught in the middle. So I wanted to circle back and touch back on that for a second, because I just think that is one of the key cores of why this is in place. And we use this app every day. That we have it to a place where we're using it every day and sharing this information back and forth between the people in our blended family and on the periphery of our blended family. And so we truly are probably its best advocates, as well as we should be, but we're really using it to its fullest, and we're seeing the benefits of it. So I wanted to get back to that just quickly.
No, and I'm so glad you did, because that's one of the, between blended family dynamics, that's some of the biggest challenges we have. But anytime that us and our co-parents can get along and really keep all the arguing at the lowest level possible, who's benefiting from that? Our kids, right? Because anytime that we're arguing and we're at each other, our kids are the true ones who are suffering and struggling from that, because they feel like they're caught in the middle. So this not only helps them to, it helps you as a parent, for one, to stay organized. Is, like we were talking, it's so hard for us just to have a good organizational tool, right? A good system in place. A lot of times we try one thing and it doesn't fail. A new season brings new challenges, but to be able to have one solid organizational tool right there that we can access, and with all the functions you have created in that, how much does that benefit us as parents to stay organized and make sure that everyone's staying in the know? But then, like you said, I love the additional benefit that the kids are getting from it. Because even if your kids are younger right now, they're not going to benefit as much, right? But as they're getting older, they're still in with the application, and now it's starting to teach them organization. They're starting to learn this as as you go. So, that helps me as a parent now to where, I'm teaching my kids organization by using this organization tool, right? It's like, I've got my life organized now because of this. And now it helps teach my kids this, gives them responsibility, gives them empowerment the older they get. And we kind of touched on this a little earlier, but even now it doesn't stop whenever they're in high school or as teenagers. But this is so beneficial for even if they moved out of your house and they're at college, that you can still stay together as a family core unit. You can know your students, your kids schedules and what's going on. That way, hey, if you're popping up, hey, they got an exam at this time, or they're going to be in that class. So, but hey, they got this period here, shoot them a message, hey, you want to go grab lunch or something, because it just keeps everybody still in the loop. What a powerful tool. I'm serious. Whenever y'all were showing that to me, all the features in it, I was blown away. I'm like, this is powerful.
Yeah, I'm just thinking as even in the school setting as a teacher, because, as a teacher and I was teaching pre-K, and we would have, almost every week was a different thing or theme, that you had to do. And the poor, because you were saying, well, the younger kids, and I think you were meaning something different, but it triggered my thought on they're not benefiting as much. But when everyone else shows up in their pajamas, but little Sally didn't get her pajamas because mama didn't get the note that it was pajama day. That kid, they notice even at 4, they hurt that they didn't get the memo. And it's usually not intentional, but we're either scattered because we're all over the place or because we don't have it in one thing. So the fact that person that is more organized, mom, dad, step parent, whoever it is, they can put it in for themselves. They can check it off for that kid. And that parent getting that notification is helping everyone involved. Because I hear so many complaints like, well, it's not my job. They can look up the calendar at the school just as easy as I can. Sure. Yeah, but it's the kid that's going to be the one missing out.
Sure. Along the lines of that, so we have a kindergartner now, and it never fails. He'll say, well, what did you do with my turtle that I made you 2 weeks ago? I'm like, I drew you a turtle. So what he had started a subtitle artwork. So we snap a picture of the artwork, and then I can say, look, because they look on your phone anyways, but it's right here. Here's your turtle right here. I have a copy. Dad has a copy. We all have a copy. Everybody can see your turtle.
I remember that.
Yeah. Or, our daughters want to see their chronological picture from kindergarten up through senior portrait. They go back and look at every single portrait of themselves. Every school year we've snapped a picture of it, and then chronologically they can see how they changed. And
that's just a folder that you can build and start submitting all the pictures chronologically. You can keep all of that in your digital wallet.
Yeah.
This is just, and it's like these things are all different apps or things we do already, but they're all in different locations. So this is taking it and putting it in one spot where everybody's looking at the same thing, because all those things are floating around, and you either have to be connected as a group on all of those things, and just to have it in one spot. And even that doesn't even touch. And I know we're getting close to the end of time, and I just have so many thoughts. So I know Randall wants to talk too. I can tell. I can see him like kind of come in over here.
Go, Randall, go.
Just for us at Enjoying Your Blended Family, and we've created this resource of how to enjoy your blended family, and a huge component of that is to find out these common interests that you have, and we walk you through a process, and we have them on a piece of paper. We've created a PDF so that you can take note, where it breaks it down to 2 sheets of paper, like for you and your family, snapping that and adding it on this as well, so you have it. Or even the last couple steps on the process is planning it on your calendar and making it happen. Here you have the family calendar. You plan a date with your stepchild or your biological child or your husband or whatever. You're putting it on there, and you're tagging them if they're old enough and have their own device for it to remind them. And it's keeping, or your husband knows, okay, me and my kid, we're going over here today. And we say my kid, your kid, biological kid, step kid, just to help our audience know like the different connections that we're trying to be very intentional on. But everybody can see that what's going on, and it's just another tool to help you, because you have all of this stuff happening in your brain, like you said. And we may not be intentional of leaving people out or forgetting things. And this shows you right here at the palm of your hand.
Yeah.
It's a comprehensive platform and it helps for cohesiveness of the family, of the new blended family. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, and it's such a powerful thing. You know, I see this as not just for blended families, this is for any family, right?
Yeah.
I mean, any family would benefit from this, but how much more for a blended family when we have so many different dynamics out there. So this is powerful. So Dr. James and Ginger, we could continue talking. I'm telling you, I love this. I love what y'all have created because this is going to bring so much harmony in families. And so we thank you so much for that. How can our listeners get a hold of this app?
Well, they can visit us at our webpage, www.thefamilycore.com. There's a lot of information there and good resources. But we're also in the app stores. So the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, you can find our app and download it there as well.
I downloaded it last night. It's just so that I could just get a real good feel. And now I gotta get all the rest of the family on board.
Yeah,
as well.
we're on board of that. So yeah, we're gonna be connecting, and because once we saw this, we were like, this is amazing. This truly is.
And our youngest is 19. We have adult kids, but this is going to benefit all of us as well.
Yeah, and we got one in another state. So being able to keep up with her, that's just great.
Well, and the secret that we found is that it can be overwhelming at first because now your brain is just geared up. You're like, oh, I could keep track of this. I could keep track of that. Like, for instance, I keep track of our air filter sizes in the house because I can never remember. And
I can't either. That's a big deal.
And I'm like, not gonna get up on the roof and look.
I haven't changed those in 6 months. I know I need to, but I don't remember what size.
Yes.
Oh, you can easily look that up now. That's where I'm going to leave it.
So start small, though. Is that what you're going to say? Like, as far as
start small, because there's so much information. Just do a couple things at a time, and just let the platform build over the course of time. Don't get overwhelmed thinking you have to get everything in there straight away. That's just too much, and that's not the way to go about it. Learn the product as you go. Just throw the social security numbers in there this week and leave it alone. Use the chat feature, use the geolocation service. And then next week, move on to some other document and get them in line. Before you know it, you'll have a good handle as to how this platform works. And once you build that database in there, man, I tell you what, you're using it every day and you wonder how you got along without it.
Right. Oh, I can totally see that. It's almost like the cell phones, right? I go back and it's like, I'm trying to remember the days when I didn't have one. It's like, how did I survive back then? I don't even know how I lived back then without that. So I can definitely see this being that beneficial and great advice on that. Because I think us as humans, we just want to get in, we want to conquer the world, we want to take the hill. And that's not how we win most of the time. We always say little steps give big results. So it is taking the little things, get in there, like you said, take a few things from that. So that's so good. So good. I am like a big advocate. I can't wait for our listeners to get a hold of this. So thank you both for being here and sharing your hearts.
Thank you for having us.
No, our pleasure. It was great talking with you guys.
Well, we're so excited. I know all of our listeners here, you're like mind blown because this has just changed your life. Because I'm telling you, if we had this 15 years ago, man, I would not have as many gray hairs on my head probably as I do today. You just can't see them all with the gel, okay? But they're there, trust me. But it is such a powerful thing. So you're taking the 4 pillars here in this app. So you can go to your app store, you can download this app. I challenge you to even go to their website because they have so many things on their website. Check them out. We'll put all those links there in the show notes. But man, the 4 pillars. So you got a way to be able to chat with each other, to keep up with each other, to send messages. Such a powerful tool with that. You got the geolocation. Come on, parents. We know how, we're always looking for ways to where we can just make sure that our kids are safe, and
especially when they start driving. Yes.
And our kids want to know, that we care, and that, it's just a powerful tool. And then you've got the calendar, which is, oh my goodness, I cannot live life without a calendar now. And to have a calendar to where we're all connected and it's easy, it's fluid, powerful tool. But then I agree with you, Dr. James, the benefit of being able to upload documents in a safe, secure manner, having everything there that you need and being able to tag people to allow access, that is just a game changer. So I'm telling you, you want to check this out. Go there. It's going to make your life so much easier, especially in a blended family whenever we're already have a lot of challenges coming at us. This is a great way for us to stay communicating in a good way, especially whenever we're trying to co-parent and trying to make the best decisions for our kids. This is a way to keep us all connected and unified and moving forward together. That way you can enjoy your blended family, right? That's the whole mission is we want to have more fun. We want to enjoy more and take away a lot of the complications and challenges that come our way.
And I just want to say real quick, because I just keep feeling this urge. So I just want to make sure I put this out there. Even if you can't get your co-parent on board yet, which I think eventually they will want to, start this with you and your family in your house first and get the kinks out, get it all worked out, and use it for you and then bring them on board.
Yeah, great point. And that is so true, and I think as everyone starts seeing the beauty of this and how much it's helping, it's just one of those that everyone's going to want to get their hands on. So listen, guys, this is a big topic, is staying organized, and that's always one of the big challenges in a family in general, but this will help. This can be a game changer for you. So check it out. We'll put the links there in the show notes. Go get organized, stay in tune, and have more fun. So listen, guys, we love you, and we will see you on the next episode. Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys. Have a great week.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope this episode has been a blessing and encouraged your family journey.
Make sure you stay connected with us and join our weekly Blended Family newsletter. We send an email out every Friday morning full of support and encouragement.
And when you join, we also want to give you a free gift. So go get yours today. The link is in the show notes below.
Have an amazing day. Remember to enjoy the journey with your blended family, and we'll see you on the next episode.